Good morning. I'm going to see Chappell Roan today, so let's get ready. So I'm going to Reading Festival today. I've never been there before, and I've got a day return from Birmingham on the coach. I think it takes about 3-4 hours. Oh my God, I'm going to show you my book I'm going to read on the way. Let me pull this over here so I can show you in a second. But basically I've booked the ticket obviously to see Chappell, but it's a really lovely lineup. The Kooks are there, Block Party are there. I haven't seen the Kooks probably since I was at school, and I saw Block Party a few years ago and they were one of the best gigs I've ever been to. So I cannot wait for today. I'm wearing my I'm Your Dream Girl's Dream Girl t-shirt. Basically, I'm seeing Chappell 3 times in the space of the next week. I've had it booked like for months and months. This has been the part of the year I've been most looking forward to. So Reading Festival is today. Then she has a Chappell show in Edinburgh. And then I'm going to Electric Picnic next week and I cannot wait. And this has all been a bit two-pronged as well. By the way, I'm going to use a bit of this Merit tinted sunscreen underneath my base. I haven't used it before. Probably not an ideal day when you're going into a whole new environment to try something new, but I just thought it has the added SPF. It looks really nice, and oh gosh, it's quite a bit more coverage than I was expecting. Not that I was expecting coverage, but it's actually given like a nice little sheen. It might be the best day actually to try it, because if it can survive a big long coach there and back, a sweaty festival, and generally being in the sun and doing a lot of walking, then it's doing the right thing. Yes, all of these festivals that I booked this year have been for a purpose. So obviously I love music and I wanted to go to them, and I've really enjoyed going to all these festivals. But also I've just kind of like done a bit of soul searching over the last little while, and I just want to make sure that content I'm making and things that I'm doing are all aligned with things that I'm really passionate about. And music is something that I always like, that's where I spend a lot of my disposable income. That's the thing that, like, if I've got a concert in the diary, really keeps me going and I look forward to. And I just thought, why don't I make more content and stuff while I'm at things like that I really enjoy? So what I would really love to do is work towards, always in the summer, covering music things or festivals or things like that. And I started pitching that kind of thing, but I had no examples of what I want to do or what I have in mind or what I could contribute. So this year I thought, if I go to all these things, make a plan at each thing, make different types of content, see what works, see what doesn't, write about them for Substack. Basically, I've just been building a body of examples of like, this is what I would love to do if you'll have me. So I have gone to lots of different things this summer, and then through the winter now, I'm gonna take all of those things and write to people that I admire or want to work with or that kind of thing, and say, next year, this is what I would love to do, will you have me? And you don't know what will come of it, but you know what, at least I know I've definitely tried. And even just things like, it's been really useful to see, I would have all these ideas before I go to something of how much stuff I'd reasonably be able to get filmed or done in one day. And I realised like my expectations were completely wrong, and that by the time you have got yourself in, got yourself sorted, figured out the lay of the land. Also, the other thing is, in this kind of environment, lots of people love it and know what they're up for, and go on like TikTok or Instagram and watch the kind of stuff I want to make. So they're all up for it, loving it. But lots of people don't want to be involved in something like that, which of course is understandable. They're having a day out. They don't want to be chatting to someone with a mini mic or, you know, doing that kind of thing. So what could take you a really short time, in theory, if you found loads of people that want to do it, can take a little while longer to get all of your participants. But anyway, I just thought I would explain that to you because I can completely understand. For me this year, I had a complete anomaly of a year because I booked so many festivals for myself with the vision of making this kind of portfolio for myself. And I totally understand that it must look like, you know, people just get all of these things handed to them on a plate and like, what are you actually doing all day? And also I think there is a real misconception that when you're a content creator, anything you do has been free. And like, I've paid my own money to do these things. There's been like Latitude Festival, for example, which was the loveliest weekend. I went there with Boots and that was so fab because I was with the loveliest group of girls and like we just had the best time. And I didn't know anything about Latitude and kind of went in blind, and I really loved it and I met really lovely people there. But like, with the exception of Latitude, everything else I've done, I've just paid for myself and covered. And I just sometimes want to explain that as well, almost to explain that it's not like content creators, sometimes we do, absolutely, but like, I think people think we get different special access or special ways in, or people, I've had so many people I know say to me like, can you help me out with tickets? Can you get me tickets? And it's like, I just booked the tickets online like anyone else can do when the tickets come out. It's really as simple as that. So anyway, all of that said, I put my concealer on and I feel like that's too fair. I'm going to put a bit of, today I was like, I'm going to use my Do It All concealer, but now I just have to put a bit of my CC cream on. You know me, I don't feel right until this is on. What was I just going to say? I've forgotten. Basically, oh yeah, so Reading today, I'm really excited to see what it's going to be like because I'm not joking. Like, I'm 35. I think I'm going to be like old age pensioner by Reading standards. They put a post on Instagram this morning and it was like, yay, Reading and Leeds is finally open. No one in this photo looked over 18. It was a carousel of photos, multiple groups of people. Everyone is super young. Even the comments were like, is anyone over the age of 13 in these photos? Like, we're all in on it. Like, God knows what the coach is going to be like. Here's me sitting quietly reading my book. I'm going to tell everyone about my book on the coach. Let me just quickly tell you. So this is The Dog Walker's Detective Agency by Michael Hogan. You would definitely know Michael's face because he does the TV reviews in all the big newspapers. He's just the funniest, kindest person. Let me read you the blurb. They've got a lot of leads, but can they collar a killer? Well, this isn't the blurb yet because he's given me an early look because it comes out in October. A funny, delightfully twisty murder mystery pairing the nation's favourite genre with man's best friend. I've literally read the first bit of this, but I've had a weirdly busy few weeks with work, haven't had a minute, so I can't wait for my, I think, 4-hour journey there and back to read. Michael is just the funniest person, so even though this is a murder mystery and it's laced with dogs, one of his other favourite things, I know it's going to be quite funny as well, if that can merge in any way. But that's what I'm going to take today. You can pre-order that now, and genuinely, if you've ever like found any joy from one of my videos, please, it would be the nicest thing to pre-order this book. Because do you know what? Something I've like learned the past few years, you know, when people say to pre-order their books, usually I'd just be like, oh, lovely, the book's coming out, I'll get that when it's out. But I saw this thing about how for authors, pre-orders are really important, and they are actually like one of the most important things for all the lists and stuff that come out. So there we go. One for us to remember. Let's just do the pre-order. Right, 1 second, I've got some sort of cat hair tickling me. I really have done too pale of a base on myself today. Do you know what? That's very Chappell Roan of me, because she always has a fairer base. Because if you're not familiar with her, she used to be teased a lot where she grew up. She's from a small town in Missouri, and at some point I don't know if it was a one-off or a regular thing, but someone called her a clown. So she was like, I'll give you a clown. So she often does a fairer base and kind of does like a drag clown makeup. She actually uses the House Labs white foundation to do that, and I have that. So I've been meaning to do like a full recreation at some point, and I will do that. So I'm going to warm myself up. This is the Mitchell, what's it called now? I've completely lost the word. One of those, spatula, a bit of Peaches bronzer. Ginge is here slow blinking at me. We did have a cuddle a minute ago. He was given the opportunity to stay. He chose to leave the room. He knows now what happens. It doesn't take me long, but he will have to be patient for a minute, and then we'll have another cuddle again. He's a great boy. So the very annoying thing about, like, listen to me now, I can feel that I've gone a bit sniffly. The annoying thing with these festivals is I think it might be hay fever. I just stream all day. Eyes, nose, everything. I will be congested all day, even when I have an antihistamine. And so I would love to sit here and recreate Chappell's Coachella makeup, or recreate any of her makeups and put all of these bright colours on and spend ages on my eyes. I'll have run it off for an hour. After half an hour, it will have all run down my face. And you know the other thing that's so annoying, and you will get this if you have watery eyes, it's not just that it runs off, it's that it actually is very irritating to have this thing on your eyes running and running, and it ends up making the skin a bit sore, and you're wiping all day, and it's all just a faff. So actually, I'm going to admit defeat today. I'm going to do a really simple wash of glitter that I know will look really nice. I am going to do a liner, which again will probably have disappeared by midday, but I'm going to start with good intentions. And I was thinking, it's quite dull today, so I don't know if you can see yet. This is baby pink red font. I might just pack a red lipstick and have a lovely red lippy to bring out my t-shirt. That's probably as nice as anything, isn't it? How lovely is the Peaches bronzer? That's gone on with a PC21 brush, and I used PC29 for my complexion. And I'm going to just finish all of my base, and then we'll have a little play with the eyes. Let's use the same brush. I'm using a bit of the Half Magic blush in Sexual Flushtration. It's a lovely, soft, it is a hot pink, but it comes out quite soft. It's very similar to my natural pink, so it's a really natural looking blush. Out of interest, all of this will be signal dependent. I'm hoping to upload this on the coach this morning, so that really will be signal dependent, we'll see. But whenever I get this up, I'll still have at least 2 Chappell shows ahead of me. What kind of thing, if you're watching this and you love Chappell, do you want to see? I'm definitely going to get everyone's outfits because it's just my favourite thing to get. But if there are any other particular things you would like to see a chat about, please do tell me, or even generally at the festivals. I've got my ideas for Electric Picnic. I've never been to a festival in Ireland before. I'm really, really looking forward to that. If you're newer here, my mum and dad are Irish, like born and raised in Ireland, both immigrated to England, met over here. So loads of my family are still in Ireland, and I go over. I used to go over all the time before COVID, but I feel like it just got so expensive. But I would love to know the kind of things you'd like to see. It's so funny as well, like the general lay of the land on the internet. Whenever I do these outfit videos, I mean, whatever you put up, someone will moan, but whenever I do the outfit videos, there's always someone that's like, oh, it's not about the outfits, it's about the music. And it's like, do you know what? First of all, like, you can clearly see that these people are all feeling so much joy. So like, if that is a problem, I feel genuinely bad for you, because why is it bothering you that someone else is experiencing joy? And second of all, like, it's so about the music. My t-shirt today is it's not actually a lyric, it's a reference to one gig that she did and made this comment that the fans all love. Like, the ones that love her as much as me are going to see my t-shirt and go, oh, are you excited for today? And it'll be a thing. Or like, people will have spent months and months making an outfit just to show their respect to this person that is going to be on a stage and won't even get to see them up close. But it means so much to them that they've shown up and shown her that level of respect. And there's, I think every single one of us, let's just be completely honest, I'll be honest and say I do this. Every single time you go and see someone you love, you are secretly thinking, a miracle could happen. I could meet them. I could end up backstage. I could this, I could that. Like, surely we're all thinking this. I don't think it's just me. And in relation to Chappell, coming up this time last year, I can't remember if I ever made a video about it, but a miracle did happen for me. I was on the way to Manchester just to talk to people in the queue about their outfits, no ticket, nothing. I had been begging, stealing, asking everyone, ringing up every number I could get to see if I could secure any access for the gig or anything. No joy. I'm on the train platform. I bump into Kieran that I used to go to school with. Let me just get my eyeliner. Stay there. Yes, so I'm at the platform. I bump into Kieran. I'm like, oh my God, are you going to see Chappell Roan as well? And he says, like, deadpan as anything, I'm opening for her. Because Kieran's a drag queen and she sources local drag queens to open for her in each territory. So basically, I go in with Kieran. I have an access all areas pass to see Chappell. I met her, we had the loveliest night, all of us. She's the loveliest team. Her assistant Kyle was absolutely lovely. We just all had such a special night. But basically, coming back to my point, these things do happen, like that they do happen. And every single person I see today that has spent months putting together their outfit is wondering if it's going to be their day today, and it probably will be someone's day today. And like, these are the people that I want to hear from and see a video of and chat to, and I just love making this kind of thing so much. It's been such a joy to capture till now. And to be honest, in terms of going to see Chappell, someone I listen to every day and love, I will enjoy talking to everyone about their outfits just as much as I enjoy the concert, because I get the references, I can see the little nuances, I know all the lyrics to know what the little thing is that they've put in their outfit, and I just love it so, so much. And actually, I mean, if you're this far into my video, I'm grateful that you're still here. One thing I would ask you to just be really patient with, I'll be really honest with you, last year when I went to all the Chappell shows and I put like all this stuff up that I was so excited, and I get it, like for years and years and years, all I've ever done is talk about makeup or rosacea, and this year I've just thrown all these different things out there and I'm hoping it's still of interest. But literally last year when I put all my bits up, I lost so many followers instantly, and I thought it was really interesting. It was a real wake-up call for me, because I thought, if you can share something that you're so passionate about and interested in and lose so many people so quickly, it's a sign that I haven't actually been explaining enough the things that I am really passionate about. I just thought, gosh, how funny that that amount of people didn't know that was a huge thing for you at all. And it was actually a big inspiration to be like, make sure that you talk about the things you do really love, so that next time when you speak about them, they land with people that love it too. So yeah, you are about to have a Chappell bombardment this week, because you'll have 3 days worth of all things about her. But if that means a lot of people have to go, I can't see myself stopping talking about her anytime soon, so that's going to be fine. Right, I'm going to use, by the way, Oh, I didn't know this is what it was called. I'm going to use a little KOSAS liner in Bewitched. This is like a plummy colour. I have so far put on a little It Cosmetics eyeshadow stick, just because it's a really lovely, like, no budge kind of formula, and once it's on and dry, it's not going anywhere. So I want to put this liner on top of it, and then I'm going to put some glitter over this. I'm going plummy because I'm going to use a plummy mascara. And what I'm going to do, this doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to buff it out for two reasons. I prefer the finish when it's buffed out, but also when this inevitably runs, because my eyes will run, it's going to be less noticeable if it was a bit smudgy to begin with. So I'm just using, now I've kind of made a rod for my own back here, because the whole purpose of this, like I just said, that it base dries and locks in, which is great, but it means that this won't smudge as easily. I'll show you these in another video on fresh skin, because you've got loads of playtime with them, but obviously I don't, because I've put them on a long wear base. But for the purpose of locking it in for the day, this is way better for me. And I'm going to get right close to the lash line here. I also am not going to bother putting anything on the lower lashes, because again, it's all just going to rub. And I put a little bit of Half Magic, the champagne colour, in my inner corner and brow bone, because it's a really, like, so shimmery highlight that it has a level of camp that I absolutely love. So, oh God, I'm just looking at the time. I need to start making a move soon. So today I've got a return coach ticket, and you leave at 9, you come back at midnight, which would in theory get me back at about 4 AM, and then I've got to get back from town home. However, Chappell is on at 7:10, finishes at 9:20, which means I have time to make the last train back from Reading. So I've booked the train. I mean, this is the trains in the UK we're talking about, so God only knows. I'm not like holding my breath, but if the stars were to align for me, I could get the train back, and I'd be home for midnight, and then like probably back at my actual house for 12:30. Again, taxis from town permitting, but anyway, we will make it work. I couldn't care less at this point. I'm just so excited to see Chappell. I'll get home when I get home. So this is massively dried. I'm just going to leave all this in. Whenever these things happen, you can't help but think, oh my God, someone is going to see this and think this girl can't put any makeup on. Why am I watching her? What's going on? She's a disaster. I'm thinking all these things about myself. But you know what? This happens to all of us, and I'm going to make this look nice in a minute. If you take one thing from today's video, it'll be just hold your nerve when it's all going tits up, and it will eventually be fine. And that's an important lesson, even more than like me actually showing you a nice eyeliner would have been, isn't it? So I feel like we are entering a territory that's like approaching the unsalvageable. So you just have to give up at this point. I'm gonna tidy these edges, put my glitter on, and then return to them. Now, this morning, oh, that t-shirt is lovely. It's tiny bit tight, that's why I keep having to ruffle it down. This morning, I was all excited to show you the new Half Magic Glitterpuck in, this is Glimmer Pop, I want to say. Yes, these are gorgeous. Like, they feel wet, they go on dry. Big pops of glitter that you can just smush everywhere, look amazing. This is a champagne coppery gold, beautiful, will for all intents and purposes be fantastic. You get a little sponge to keep in it to kind of hold the shape and what have you. However, Pink Pony Club today, this really ought to be a job for the original Dopamine Sparkle Half Magic Glitterpuck. So we are going in with this kind of rosy pink instead. Now this, I'm just going to use my finger. The great thing with this is you don't need to be neat. There's no really noticeable beginning or end. It's the perfect kind of thing if my eyes are watering today, that I can just kind of smush about and it will eventually be fine. I'm going to go right over the edge of that purple. It just, see how it takes the edge off. You can't really see what has or hasn't happened in creating that makeup, which is what I need for the future, knowing that I'm going to water. And got a little cut there. Ginge got me yesterday on my eye because he's such a good boy. He's a great, great boy, very special. He was like semi-feral when I first got him, and so he loves snuggles and kisses and stuff, and then he'll tell you when it's time to stop, and I got told yesterday. And he always finds like the most choice moments to do that. I remember, when would it have been now? I think 2023. I have been the UK and Ireland brand ambassador for IT Cosmetics for 7.5 years now. This is one time, I believe this is the one time that we were bringing out Bye Bye Redness Serum, and they were like, we want Rose to be on the global assets for this one, which means like there are brand assets that every single country uses, and this would be one of them. They said, we want her to come to New Jersey and be in this shoot and be in the global brand assets. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is amazing. Me and Miranda went, we had the best time. We stayed in New York. No, we stayed in New Jersey, but we would be in the New Jersey office in the day, then we'd pop over to New York in the evening. Incredible, like so fab. So anyway, I'm having these global being used for years photos. Lucky me. What does Ginge do? He chooses this exact time to give me like the biggest wallop of my life. And the great thing with it is they don't retouch anything at all. They use all of your true before and afters, and, you know, keep everything completely as is. Me with a load of stuff on my chin from him. The one time you're having these photos taken. But yeah, it does, in fairness, I'll always look at those photos and think of my small boy. So there we go. Right, I'm back in the room. This is the purple Half Magic mascara. The Half Magic coloured mascaras are absolutely lovely, and I'll tell you why. They're tubing, which already I desperately need with my watery eyes. Because right, it sounds a bit counterintuitive, but hear me out. Tubing mascara, it removes with warm water, so it crumbles away rather than spilling like an ink spill. So in theory, you'd be like, is that not the worst thing you need if you've got watery eyes? But it doesn't really crumble away when your eyes water as such. It's just easier to remove at night, but it also means that you don't get that ink spill effect if your eyes are watering through the day. But the other thing about them is Half Magic layer pearly pigments in their coloured mascaras, so that, have you ever had it with like a brown where you get your brown home and it might as well be black because it just doesn't really show up that much? Why they put the pearl in is that if you put a colour on a white base, it's just so much more prominent, and so that's what happens. So like when you look at me now, in particular in the daylight, this is very clearly purple. You can see it there. You'll see it better when I do my videos in the field, but it's so clearly purple and the colour really pops, and so you really get the impact of I am wearing my coloured mascara. And now look at that from far away. All of that's just blended into one. lovely. Let me show you my little bag I got. Honestly, like, most of my stuff now is from Tinted. I absolutely love it. You will not believe, I can't wait to show you my dress for Chappell on Tuesday. Got the most gorgeous Cinderella Divine dress on Tinted for £13, I think it was. It was definitely either 10 or 13. Getting my baby rose out of my, these are my bits I'll take with me. I'm going to swap that liner in while I remember. I got this little bag from Tinted. It was a Topshop bag, £4. And I just thought that'll be a nice one for, I'm packing loads of stuff today. I've got my book. I'm going to pack a few layers because I've got a few trains to catch. My water bottle. I love my Dans and Madder one so much. But because it's that bit colder and I'm packing more layers, I just needed something a bit bigger. And then this is my KOSAS lipstick. I might film like a separate video on that that's just a bit shorter. That is my favourite lipstick formula. This is the colour Baby Rose. I also have a slightly deeper one, Malibu. And it's so funny, my friend Marnie put a TikTok up the other week. I've been wearing those non-stop this summer. It's like a lip balm consistency, but with pigment, and just really gorgeous, very hydrating because I've got really dry lips. My friend Marnie put this TikTok up and she was like, do you know what? My favourite lipstick is this KOSAS one. Like, honestly, it's the best thing. And me and her hadn't even spoken about them. And I don't feel like it's been a particularly, you know, like there are some products that you see every bloody ad for again and again and again. I never really see anyone talking about that. So it's quite funny that she and I both found it and thought, this is the best thing ever. I better go and get my coach. I hope that was, to be honest, I don't really feel like I've told you anything about what I had on, but I was just so excited to tell you where I'm going. And just to say, yeah, it's not quite going to be makeup or rosacea for the next couple of days. And I hope you just get from it that it's really nice hearing people that have put effort into something. I think that, like, there's so much horrible stuff in the news at the moment, let's be honest. And for me, to go and capture stories from people that are just filled with this much optimism and joy for something, and they've put all that effort in and they have something they care about, and that's how I feel, and that's why I want to be there. And I feel really I just love it so much, and it brings me so much joy. And whether you know of Chappell, or I want to make a Kooks one as well. I'm hoping if I can find anyone over the age of 17, I'm hoping to find some people my age that like loved the Kooks when we were teenagers, and ask them like what was going on in their life at that time. Because like for me, the Kooks would remind me of like going to Snobs on a Wednesday, going to Snobs on a Saturday. You'd be going to Resurrection every alternate Friday. You'd be going to Panic every alternate Saturday. And like, if someone from Birmingham, my age, sees that, they will 100% know. So wouldn't it be lovely if there were people from all over the country? And there's like a Bolton version of that. There's a Cardiff version of that. There's a Huddersfield version of that. Apparently, I'm looking to meet all the Northerners today, always. But anyway, I'm gonna go have a lovely day. I'll show you all the videos and you'll have all these music things for the next few days. So I'll chat to you soon. Take care. Bye. Bye. I wonder how long that lipstick has been on there. That is one thing I never noticed. No, I never noticed it at the time. And then when I edit it back, that's the one thing about just talking to yourself. If you were sat across from someone and this was in person, you'd just say, lick your teeth. Anyway, goodbye, I've got to go, bye. 3 last sprays. I'm using my Peaches setting spray called Get a Grip. I'm using my Fleur Peach Skin body spray, which is so lovely and just like a sweet hit of peach. And I'm using my Laura Capon Dead Cool as my fragrance. And Vichy said to me the other day, my friend Vichy, we always love all the same stuff. I bought this and she was like, I can't smell it on me. But someone told me years ago, if you have a scent that you can't smell on yourself, Maybe that's your signature scent. I've obviously layered it with the peach skin, but because this is quite creamy, it's like a peaches and cream smell. Anyway, I do have to go. Goodbye.